humidifies the air you breathe. My humidifier might need some some alignment now because
the human body is so many things.
This humidifying, maybe it's the air that is the issue here. But hey, come on,
well,
it's a Friday morning.
It's too wet.
Well, in the atmosphere.
Stuffy.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just touch about a few things, but there was something that piqued my attention, and that was because of a number of things. Yeah, there's a hotel in somewhere in Ojo, Lagos State, that EFCC operatives went on a sting operation. And there's nothing wrong with sting operations. I mean, when you suspect people and all of that, sting operations are done anywhere around the world. But there should be respect for whoever, except when the person, wants to retaliate or wants to show aggression. That's the word. And then there's some sort of response of aggression. But in this case, went into the hotel. And a few things. There is a CCTV video released of a lady receiving a slap. She goes to open the door. Seems to be banging on the door. And then she goes to open the door, and there's that pushback from the door. And the first thing the person enters with some other people who are in the EFCC jackets is a slap. And, she reportedly is said to be a staff of the hotel or something. But it raised a lot of concerns. A number of people started asking, first of all, if that is a room, why is there a camera in the room? That's number one. Okay. You understand? Because you've heard that thing about it when you get into a hotel room. Do you know how to sweep for?
Yeah, you turn out all the lights and use your phone camera.
Use your phone camera. You can sweep for cameras because that would be an invasion of privacy, as it were. But, getting to the second one now, why would you want to perform a sting operation in that sort of manner? And they've gotten some suspects, as it were, who are in custody. And with such kind of, what preceded that? Why such use of force?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why such aggression? Especially to a lady. I mean, it's not even like, and you are, it was surprising. And of course, the EFCC chairman has come out to state that those involved would be arrested. Those were his words, that's what he stated and all that. But you see, it just goes to say how much the people are afraid of people who are supposed to protect them.
That has been the feeling, the apprehension. When we were kids growing up, internationally, they used to say people in uniform were supposed to be helping you. But these days, when you see people in uniform, there's apprehension. So a lot of anxiety because you're just not sure whether, you're not unsure about yourself because you're on, by God's grace, the right side of the law. You're not taking one way, you're not doing the wrong thing, but you're just still not sure if the conversation is going to go your way or not. And this goes to another issue of, the stop and search situations that happen a lot in Lagos. Just random stop and search at any point. Accusations are based on property that actually belongs to you, laptops, phones, and the like. I'm just not sure if the processes, the process that all the teams are using is the best idea. If you have, for instance, information or intel about a particular person and you're trailing a particular person, it makes sense. But the random stop and searches that often turn aggressive.
This morning, the main issue was that it was quite very dark. I was getting to this place, there was no light around. And my lights weren't so strong, beaming. And then it was two lights from the policeman. The way it got into my eyes. Wow. If I wasn't, it almost got me disoriented because it was very, very sharp. And the way it went, to some people, I was thinking, okay, if somebody was not so good, someone could have lost control
of the vehicle, yeah?
Because of the way it was.
And
it was disorienting.
Drizzling. And
that's why sometimes whenever we give you, there are times when we have reports and we say flash photography, warning. And then we warn people because you know that you could disorient somebody. If somebody had some sort of a condition, as at that time, the person would just clear you. Because as at that time, the brain just goes, just everything. So like I said, I think the method, like you said, is quite areas. There are two things, and I've always said this, when you look at the security apparatus, just to digress a little bit, lights. when there are lights, when an area is well lit, I mean, one of the reasons why we appreciate the third mainland now is not really the road per se, but it's the light.
Lighting, yeah.
The lighting. Once there's light and there's CCTV, like in this case where we're able to see something, there's a lot you solve when it comes to the security apparatus of any given location.
Yes,
area.
of course, definitely.
You know?
That particular light situation is something that I've actually experienced. In fact, I even experienced it this morning. In fact, I was not even the one driving, and I was so irritated. How much more when I'm driving? And to me, I'm like, I know my reaction is always quite negative because, and that's this before I'm even stopped, right? I already see you flashing lights in my eye, and in my first thing, I'm like, are you thinking, how is it that I'm literally on an express? And then driving to, I guess you're trying to get my attention. It's dark.
Yeah.
The fact that you're holding a torchlight is enough for me to know there are people there. You don't need to flash it directly because it's a conscious effort. They actually do it intentionally. They flash it directly into your eyes and all of that. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, this actually takes my mind back to a few weeks ago where I actually commented on a video I saw on social media and I got dragged for it. It was quite interesting. I actually wanted to talk about that situation, but I don't know how it never came up. So there was a situation of a guy literally fighting. In fact, there were two guys fighting. One was armed, one was unarmed, right? And you literally see the wrestle back and forth. And then eventually, when it seemed like the matter cooled down, the man that was literally armed shot the guy.
The unarmed
chest.
When it has already
leading to
calmed
his
down.
Death. Yes. And so he was wearing a paramilitary uniform, and so the debate was literally, oh, what should we have done? Should he have shot? He shouldn't have shot, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people were, so, in fact, someone that actually knew that I thought was actually a more reasonable person literally said that if it was him, he could have even shot earlier. That he even he held back. He showed some restraint. And I'm like, first of all, if you, for any reason, get into an armed fight, or rather a fight with someone that is armed or with a civilian, as a military guy, there are meant to be several other methods or things you can actually do to disorient the person. Or to literally lead the person to, do you understand? Than literally using your, do you understand? You're meant to be trained by a strike of a blow to literally suppress the person before getting to a point. The gun was literally behind the guy. And then, of course, the guy, there was a point the civilian literally got the gun and was like holding the mouth of the gun.
Now I remember
you can literally
that video.
see, to me, I'm like, he wasn't holding it to pull it. He was honestly holding it to stop you from shooting because no reasonable person was... The guy honestly did not imagine that the guy was going to shoot because he was standing right in front of the gun. That's what I thought. I'm like, so people are like, okay, fine, for your first thing, why should you fight the military man? Blah, 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 blah. And it literally, like, this conversation literally even entered my family group.
Wow.
And I had to let me not say clear, not
Some
clear,
people...
but like, of course, my dad was a military guy. So, of course, he came from that perspective. And I literally spoke about how on a normal day, I'm going by, I just feel harassed. I'm just harassed for literally owning a vehicle or driving or just being a human being or existing. And I'm like, why is that this? So people talk about how, oh, why do you even have the infantry in the first place to walk up to a military guy and to literally like have a physical combat with him? I'm like, because they have literally brought themselves to that point where people feel the need to first be...
the armed forces very much. If you know how much I respect them, there are times when I fantasize and I think about going into the field, protecting the sovereignty of your nation, killing somebody else so that other people can be protected. I think about it.
The concept.
There's a day I was fantasizing. I remember watching this movie about a sniper and then a kid in somewhere who was carrying an IED strapped to the kid and then had to make a choice. Do I take out this kid or do I let this kid come here and take us out? I had to take out the kid. I think about it, I respect the military, but you see...
I respect the idea of the...
But you see, I respect
but
the
right now,
but you see, that's the point. Whenever it comes to civil duties, as much as possible, military part of the armed forces needs to extricate themselves, leave it to the police, and then in those kind of situations, de-escalate the issue, and then let the guy... It's unwise, yes, I know, but then when you de-escalate the issue, maybe by just, stopping him, like you said, and then you let him face whatever...
Because the first thing, if I think about it, the first priority is the human life. That's why they exist, to protect the state.
You're right.
Yeah. Do you understand? And who makes up the state? The human lives. But when to you, it's literally that's easy. You can literally just take out the person because you had because the issue was a personal squabble. It had nothing to do with security. So I'm like...
You know what, Winnie? Obviously, we can't finish this conversation here. It's one that there are more questions than answers as of right now. But please share your thoughts with us. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know exactly what you're thinking. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back. It's Wake Up Nigeria.